Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, episode 13.
13.
Yes, man. We're moving along.
We're
moving along.
moving on up. What are we talking about today?
Mhm.
Oh, this week we
Letting-
celebrated our anniversary. Listen,
Good
we have
time.
a special video that you guys have not been watching. So we are going to click it somewhere up here.
Yeah, I'll grab my list.
We're now
I'm
go
not gonna point.
somewhere
It
up to
should-
the top.
Yeah, it should
and
come on the
you
screen right about
now. And then you guys go ahead and watch that and then come back here. You can decide.
Yeah,
But
we're
watch
gonna do
the
all
two
that.
of them.
Yeah, as long as we do it, that's fine.
Hey there, I'm Harrone,
I'm Chantell,
and we are the Guthries.
Welcome to Chit Chat with the Guthries,
We're a Adventist pastoral couple
bringing you real conversations about anything and everything,
from religion and family life.
to lifestyle and whatever else comes up. Stay tuned for insightful chats that will inspire and uplift. Hang out with us and join the chat fam.
Because here, every conversation matters.
Let's chat.
All right. So today we are talking about.
We're talking about a very Christian thing that some Christians find hard to do.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess a matter of perspective. And when it comes on to relationship.
Well, I'm sure by the
When-
title
when it come
of
on to
the
relationships.
video, you know what we're talking about.
When it comes to relationships, there are just some times where the right thing to do is to not move on. It is to end it right there.
Oh, it's to not move on in the relationship,
Yeah,
but
in the
move
relationship.
on outside of the relationship.
yeah.
Right.
Move
Come here,
out,
say what?
anyways.
Move out.
Yeah.
Move out.
So the best thing would be for it to end there. I know it's something that we probably
It's a
don't-
hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's hard to swallow. We perhaps don't like to think about it, don't talk about it,
Yeah.
and so on. And
Because sometimes we've invested so much in the relationship, so many has been going
I
on.
mean, so many dreams and aspirations,
yeah.
and expectations
Right,
of others,
right.
from parents, friends, our church family, our colleagues, different professional settings. There's so much social, for want of a better word, pressure, to keep it going.
Yeah.
Where it seems as if we're making a grave mistake by ending it. But in reality, we really examine the relationship.
Yeah.
Things are not progressing emotionally. Things are not progressing mentally. Satisfaction is not being there. I mean, yeah, you can see the future. You can see a certain future, but is that what you
Really want?
need? I mean, you want it, but do you really need it? Is God really pleased? And perhaps the best and right Christian thing to do would be to end it there. So, right. So how do we move from making that analysis to actually doing the right thing in that situation, and then now how do you handle the fallout?
Yeah.
If we could use
those words.
use that term. Use that
Because no matter how you look at it, one person is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say invested, but a little bit more what's that word? Optimistic with the possibilities of what the relationship can do. Especially if you guys, like we're really good friends, and especially if like the church see a future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you're trying to, as you rightly said, you're trying to keep up with appearances. Right.
And you see in those cases, those cases where there's not no mutual agreement on ending it. That's the part where the fallout now can be. It can get really
bitter,
really bitter, really nasty.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of news carrying.
He said, she said, by the
right, and there can be a lot of damaged reputation.
My side, your side,
and it has gone to the stage where people have to relocate entirely, and it just seems as it just can be
getting
very
nasty,
bad. I mean, the ideal you'd want to end on mutual agreement,
on an amicable note.
And the Bible does say in Romans 7, it is possible live peaceably with all men.
If we're gonna end, this is how we're gonna end. My God, on an amicable note.
The Bible does say it's possible live peaceably with all men. I'm trying really hard to live peaceably with her right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The peace, when you give somebody a handshake, it's an agreement, Harrone.
Yeah,
Come on
but
now.
like
You don't know why I shake your hand?
yeah.
Illustration.
Okay, all right. Illustrated.
Right. So one of the things that
in that situation, no. Oh, it's so easy to be unforgiving.
Yeah. No, but even before you reach unforgiving, how do you? Well, I guess it come under the same thing because I was thinking about like the processing the hurt. How do you process it? What are some things that you can do? Some persons deal with it differently. Like a little moment of vulnerability. Me never go to God. Me never. I don't recall in that specific breakup where I went on my knees and I said, "Fall on my knees and pray." I never did that.
So other strategies,
I
other
used
ways.
other strategies.
Other ways.
Not strategies I recommend, but I use other strategies. So technically then Harrone.
In my experience, I would try a bitter, a bitter season. To kind of, it's good to have good Christian friends.
True.
They really help.
To ground you.
Yeah.
And probably that was what was probably not to stop you.
It was a while coming because the Lord was up to something. I could see it, and
disobedient man.
And even when I could see it, it didn't make it any easier. And it was a lot of
like
I literally saw the option where I could just pause my relationship with the Lord or level with Him. And I had to take some time to level with Him because there are a lot of character assassination attempts, and I just had to know that the Lord knows the truth, and I leave it in His hand.
And the truth shall set me free.
And the beauty is that God is a restorer. So even when we have to make those difficult decisions,
God restore.
Yeah, man, he's a restorer and He's our guide. And I'm just saying,
listen, long been sing so much in our episode. This is the episode, man. Come on, Harrone, keep it going.
And as we said, sometimes to end a certain when a relationship is of a certain quality, of a certain kind, reach a certain stage where it gets stagnant, oftentimes the Christian thing to do
to just let go and move on
is to let go, move on, and is to end it.
Yeah, but how do you our friends are listening, our chat fam is listening, apart from running to God, to help us in this healing process. I'm happy that you mentioned that you had good Christian friends, because sometimes I'm not saying that we can't have non-Christian friends, right? Because who are going to convert them? Who are going to tell them about who are going to, well, God did the conversion, but who are going to introduce them to the gospel? What I mean?
Coming from the Audit Me episode, you actually have an idea of
where those people fall,
friend
right?
circle, and you're not using the word friends lightly or trivially, but there's some substance to it. Now, mind you, your friend may not agree with your decision, but they offer different perspectives. And what is important is that they are there for mental and emotional and spiritual support,
right? Because, and I'm happy that you said that, because our friends not supposed to be making the decision for ourselves, because they're not in the relationship, but they're supposed to give guidance, right?
Step back,
right? And whatever my decision is or your decision is, your friend is supposed to support that decision. Right?
They don't have to agree. They don't.
So how does
they have to understand? But they are there to minister to you.
A lot of times, me not agree with what you're doing, but I understand because I'm your friend. You understand?
Yeah, it's mutual. It's mutual right there. It's mutual right there. Why we're at it. It's mutual. It's mutual right there.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And you see in the case now where a person can feel slighted. So one person may feel liberated.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of disappointment. The bitterness and the resentment, it may produce unforgiveness, and this is something real that we have to grapple with.
Yeah.
As human beings, we so easy for us to become unforgiving.
Yeah.
But unforgiveness never benefits us.
No.
We think we're trapping the person, and we end up being trapped
ourselves.
And it eats us out physically, mentally, spiritually. And we really have to go to God and ask God to put forgiveness in our heart. Download it from heaven into our heart. So we can experience
give us a software upgrade on that forgiveness
and extend it. Obvious relationships, they're not going anywhere. So we're
Like what?
so in those cases, I mean, unequal relationships, relationships where there's a lot of dishonesty, relationships where there's just unfaithfulness and so on. I mean, those ones are easier. It's sometimes it's easier to
spot.
to make a decision, and realize that this is not a blessing to me. It's not a blessing to me. It's more negative than a positive. And so we just do a risk reward calculation. I'm like, all right,
It's not gonna work.
that can be
And
easy.
it's now.
Yeah, that
We should have run an
sometimes
engine no pin.
oh, right. sometimes that is easier to see than the ones where on the surface it's like there's nothing wrong.
I can't pinpoint what is wrong, but the relationship is not progressing.
Right, stagnant.
Right,
Stagnant.
it's not doing
stagnant. So,
but then how can somebody find healing and find peace even after experiencing something like this? Whereas it's easy for you if you say, I feel like it's easy to say, well, in Chit for me, well, whatever, versus the relationship wasn't going anywhere. What do you mean by never that going away?
Yeah, because there's always
understand what I mean?
I think there's some perspective involved, and you may be even tempted to second guess, your evaluation. Was it really stagnant? Was it really not going anywhere? But we sing, we sing songs.
You see, move on and he starts to thrive.
Wow.
You know when that.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to go on with me.
Yeah. Wow. Life has a way of doing that. But none of matter. We sing songs about He leadeth me, right? And we talk about God's guidance and God instructing us But when we're in the practical
valley below,
when we're in a real situation where the guidance is to come in, why it can be so hard to spot it sometimes. And to be honest, if we're really honest, sometimes we're not as confident as we should be that God is really guiding us. Because it's easy to sing a song and to repeat a Bible verse, but when you're in it, when you're in it.
What we did you preach for me? Who did that installation service? Understand what I'm saying? May I pray you?
When you're in it,
you need to know it, man.
It's so
much different.
But what we are going to recommend, we're not going to recommend that you engage in questionable lifestyle choices and lifestyle practices and harmful coping mechanisms. No, we're going to recommend that,
look to Jesus.
That, right. And I'm not talking in a cliche sense. I mean, in an actual real sense.
I get some real Christian friends.
Really talk to him. Really read the word. Really claim some promises.
Yeah.
Christian friends.
Get some
but
the thing
friends.
is, for me, Harrone, the moment you're at a stage in your life where you feel as though you are ready to get in a relationship with the opposite sex, you're supposed to be at a point with your relationship with God that can manage that. I don't feel like you should put yourself in a relationship with the opposite sex if you don't have a relationship. No, if you have a relationship with God. Because He is the center of what you do. So the moment you're going into a relationship with the opposite sex, He's supposed to already give you
the go ahead.
You understand?
Right.
So if you can know if you might get the go ahead or not, you can identify His voice, then you're not ready for going in that. Do you understand what I mean?
No matter how healed you feel.
And even before you reach to the point of healing, I mean, before you even know, say you get broken 10 years later, 5 years later, 3 years, 6 months, you understand? Right. So, and then also use the opportunity that you have now to rebuild or to build your relationship with Christ, Yes, and don't get me wrong. We're not saying that, you move on, you let go and you move on today and tomorrow you're okay, you sing punk choir, you're all right, you speak his spooky and you're all right and you're good and you're fair, you're fine. Yeah. Take your time to heal. Take your time to evaluate what happened. Take your time to see, not necessarily what you did wrong, but what you have done differently to ensure that, things, moved at the space that you wanted. Suppose doing it differently could have mean to let go earlier. You understand? So that you don't make these mistakes again. I feel like we shouldn't live our life in regrets, but we should live our life looking for lessons so that we can learn to improve our next experiences. Whereas, like there are some things you already know, say there are some things based on other person's experiences when we just there's no, we're not living in no separate house, we're not pay 2 GPS bill, we not do that. Me not compromise man them something there. You understand what I mean?
Take the lessons.
Yeah, man, take the lessons.
Take the lessons.
Learn from the lessons, build from the lessons.
Right, take the lessons. Take the
and
lessons.
and build a relationship with Christ, connect with your friends, and let go and move on. Let go and move on.
And be prepared to grow.
Yeah.
Be prepared to grow.
Like if in 20 whenever I saw a video like this on YouTube, I would have made better choices. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Made better choices, not in who, but in what.
Yeah.
You understand? In what? In the after. Because Harrone, honestly, sometimes, you let go, but you can't move on. It's like you're so caught up in, especially if you're like me and everything where you like me used to dribble, what do you call it?
Journal.
No, not dribble.
Doodle.
Doodle. Harrone, every book me have.
Yeah, you were
Was a child.
You were smitten.
Clearly.
You were smitten.
So you never smitten me?
I'm waiting to see the doodles of me. That's fine. Until then.
Until then, my heart will go on singing.
No, this is a
Until
this
then.
is a tough topic.
Yeah, it is.
It's
For
a tough
sure.
topic.
For sure.
It's a tough topic. And you see, as we grow and as we mature, and not just with age, but
experiences.
But with risk, emotionally, spiritually, mentally.
Yeah.
We are going to realize that that these are some of the things that real people deal with.
Yeah, endure.
Right? That real people deal with. No.
And probably
we
you're
will not
watching.
all talk about it. Not all talk about it, but
Yeah, we're not talking about them something.
But these are and let me tell you, a relationship ending is not necessarily a sign of failure. It's not necessarily a sign that your life is not going anywhere. Right? We need to move away from a kind of thinking. Move away from a kind of thinking. When we ask God to guide us, we're taking a risk. We're taking a risk that God will guide us in paths that we would not necessarily choose for ourselves.
Whoa.
He knows what is best.
Whoa.
He knows what is best. So when Psalm 32 verse 8 speaks of God guiding us, when Isaiah 30 verse 21 speaks of our ears hearing a word behind these saying, this is the way walking in it, whether here to the right hand or to the left. Let us be prepared. Let's be prepared for God to touch every area of our life. Right?
For sure,
and when instruction comes, friends, like Abraham,
we're ready to move.
Work with it. Right?
When instruction go, just let go and move.
Right.
You got to move. You got to move. You got to move.
It's like the mood just.
I lifted it up. Lift Jesus higher. Anyways, if it is that you are watching and you're going through a moment in your relationship or moments of questioning, wondering, where, when, why, or you've just ended one, we just want to remind you that, there is still a silver lining,
Still a friend in Jesus.
Still a friend in Jesus.
The Lord is still working. Romans 8:28 is still real. And
Harrone is here to be a friend.
Take the time.
My friend bag full up. Full up!
Take the time. Pause.
Yeah.
Realign.
Journal.
Reconnect with God.
What do guys do?
I can tell men to journal.
Doesn't me literally just say
what
men do?
Men we find other meaningful ways to
one construction site
cope with the pressures of life.
And carries. When you swing the cement in this something, what I call?
I'm not good.
You don't know you live in boardhouse? You never use cement. Yo, Harrone, that just come out at you.
That doesn't even
All right,
relate
sorry.
to what we are doing. So
No, because I was asking about what you do, but then
this highlights
now.
this highlights the importance of whether you're a young woman or a young man of having good friends.
Yeah.
So you can talk to someone, you can really hear you, right, and be there, while God is doing that process of realigning and reconnecting, right, and repositioning, and then come out to the experience
Even stronger.
Even stronger. And if the Lord so permits, for it to be a next person,
yeah, man,
give the next person a fair chance.
Yeah. Don't use the previous person fat to boil the next person. Well, fry, not boil. Fair chance. Mind you, you're not going to let down the guards. You understand? You're going to allow
you be wise. You be wise because you have learned.
Right.
Fair chance.
Fair chance.
So
you learning from experience. You gave me a fair chance.
We'll see you.
Did I give you a fair chance?
We'll see you in episode 14.
Please connect with us in the chat.
Be distracted.
Let
Episode
us
14.
know if you have any feedback, and see you next week, episode 14. So you're watching this on Friday, and on Sunday, the Proclamations of Hope series begins with Pastor Jermaine Johnson at the Mega Mart parking lot for our friends in Mandeville. And if it is that you're not in Mandeville but you want to connect, we will be there. Duh. You can watch us online via YouTube.
Miketown SDA.
Any final words?
See you in episode 14.
Ta-ta!